Now, the reason we're looking at the Gnomonkey video is because you guys won't shut up about it. And Gnomonkey says that Varlamore Part 2 needs some work. So we're going to have a look, see what Gnomonkey has to say. I enjoyed looking at Gnomonkey's videos because it's a different perspective to what a lot of the player base has. It's quite a minority perspective, so it's nice. The PVM God, the Colosseum Solo Cox Runner, the Archer's Ring at Scurrius, dying in 2024 to a DC Hardcore Iron Man. Gnomonkey. Let's have a look. Good luck.
I understand Varlamore Part 2 content was intended for low to mid-level players by the polls. I don't want Huey or the other bosses to be harder to fit the high-level community. I don't want harder content. I want content that is fun and engaging. Which isn't this update. Holy shit. Is this update awful for a multitude of reasons? Let's start with the elephant in the room, or the dragon, Huey Codal. The mechanics of this boss are below that of Scurrius, who I used to hate. Once I started my group hardcore, I realized it was actually pretty great for teaching newer players how to PVM. Also,
he's saying that with a gun to his head because Scurrius killed him. Just so you guys are aware, this is to redeem himself. However, is the what does he call it? The Huey Cuddle. Is that what it's called? Hoy Cuddle? Is it easier or similar to Scurrius? It's probably one level above Scurrius. And the only level above Scurrius is that instead of dodging, well, alongside dodging floor damage, like you got the lightning and the dragon or the falling rocks and Scurrius, you've also got the floor damage from the tail, the slam, which happens once per tail. Otherwise, he's not entirely wrong. Like, the dragon's attack speed of the projectiles is incredibly slow. But is that a bad thing? I don't know. I don't know if that's a bad thing. But yeah, you could probably compare the two. Like, you could go in here with a pretty low level. It's just got more defense more than anything, you know? You're going to agree with his view? Well, I haven't seen his view yet, so who knows?
So the experience gained at Scurrius also let you skate through the grueling early game a lot faster than the traditional AFK at Crabs or Dew Slayer, which, by the way, is awful for Combat XP early game. Don't do that.
Yep.
How does this fight work? Well, you AFK hit Huey's body segments while dodging extremely slow lightning, like slower than Scurrius' rockfall mechanic.
Yep.
He occasionally flings out a prayer to catch roughly every 20 seconds.
It's
Otherwise, you just sit there whacking away. Then you, quote, run up the mountain.
Yeah, I think that's important. That I've always been saying too. We all, I'm sure, agree on this. When Jagex said you have to fight up a mountain to get to the dragon, this isn't a mountain. This is a U-turn. This is a slight right turn. This is Han Solo outmaneuvering Imperial fighters in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back by turning the Falcon slightly to the left. That's what this is. This isn't a fight or a climb to the mountain. Where's the game? Pull the game up for a second. Jamie, pull that up. I thought this mountain was going to be the dragon, but this is just dead content. So I'm definitely underwhelmed with the hike that Jagex anticipated for the community, for sure.
To the head of Huey. This is where I have major issues. This boss is designed for Trio Plus with no scaling options for anything below that. You can technically solo the boss if you want 8-minute kills in full max. There is a pillar mechanic that requires 3 protection prayers of different styles, mage, range, and melee to be active at all times, at which point you are provided with a massive damage buff, which I believe is 25%.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously can't do that in solo or duo, and his HP doesn't scale down, so you just do 25% less damage. Encouraging PVM in groups is great. It helps build the community and people grow together, but is this really the boss we're using to push groups? It has roughly 3 mechanics total, and you stand still most of the fight. Coordination and teamwork really isn't a thing here. Push teamwork in raids or higher level encounters. Forced group Scurrius seems really unnecessary. Then you have the tail phase again. This time the damage is clamped to purposely make Scythe and other high-priced tag items bad. The way this works is it caps your hit splat at a 9 and guarantees you hit if Crush is your highest style, similar to a Raxor. This made the Blood Moon set skyrocket in price because the dual Makas are Crush and hit twice, arbitrarily set to be Biss. To me, this encouraged merching mid-level players and leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The Moon's bosses were another way for players to skip the crappy barrels grind and get into PvM faster, but now they...
Yeah. I'm undecided on that. Because I've been thinking about that pretty much all day doing this boss because we've done like maybe 50 kills today as a stream. I like that they've included the I guess mid-level gear to be useful. Like it says here just behind me, the Blood Moon set's over 50 mil plus the duel's peaked at 25 mil. I mean, let's be honest, in a month's time, that's not going to be the case. It's just new release hype, so that's not a long-term problem at all. Nothing really to be concerned about. So I think that's actually okay, provided it does actually level out because of how shit the drop table is in this boss. People aren't going to farm this hardcore forever. But the whole merching thing, is just, I don't play the merch game. I think playing the merch game is just, you're more than likely to lose money most of the time. And especially for casual players who, for example, a lot of people yesterday released, the update came out, and they're like, oh, do you think the Dragon Hunter crossbow is going to peak? If you weren't investing in Dragon Hunter content 6 months ago when this was announced, you lost already. There's no point in doing it today. So it's just the luck of the draw, really. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a problem. I like the tail mechanic in the terms of that it basically requires you to bring some sort of weapon switch, although it is all completely melee, so it does feel a bit bland. The Dragon Hunter crossbow does work great on the dragon, but that's only if you don't have the Mac Daddies, really, or a lance. It's pretty much just if you haven't got a lance, scythe, or Mac Daddies, that's your 4th or 5th best option. Dragon Hunter crossbow dropped to 62 mil. It dropped back to where it was meant to be, right after the hype. It's crazy, isn't it? Will Torag hammers be viable here? No, they're too slow. Just get the... If you don't have the Mac Daddies, a zombie axe won't be too bad, to be honest. Or Dragon Mace. It's got a badass spec. Dragon Mace will be better than Torag hammers easily, man. That shit's good.
They have a steep price tag because of a weird clamping crush mechanic they added. There is no way to speed this phase up other than to have a ton of people. Why is Scythe not Biss on a boss that clamps damage like P1 Verzik? It's because it has a low crush bonus. That includes things like Soul Reaper, Lance, or any other weapon which you crush with, which has a higher stab or slash bonus. This wave mechanic that they keep deciding to use as well is just incredibly poorly telegraphed. The waves do not align with where they actually are, so how are you supposed to dodge them? This mechanic, frankly, should just be scrapped entirely. It's clunky and isn't used anywhere else in the entire game. It could be replaced with something a boss does use, like Olm's head turning, to damage the room. If this is a lower level boss, why don't we use it to teach some concepts that are used in higher level encounters? I don't particularly want the loot buffed from this boss, as it is a learner boss, but they could have done so many different things to make this more enjoyable for not only solo/duo, but to teach people PvM mechanics. The pillar mechanic seems like a half-hearted attempt to encourage teamwork, but in reality, everyone just prays something else with zero communication required, and it hard locks you from doing solos and duos. Instead of making the tail's weakness arbitrarily the bopper...
I'm fine with it not being solo or duoable. I think if... I know this might be a hot take and an unpopular opinion, but if Jagex wants to make, the normal Nightmare, before Fasani Nightmare came out, soloing the Nightmare was, you would do that if you had, severe autism. Why would you do solo Nightmare pre-Fasani Nightmare? You just wouldn't. It was a waste of time. It was purely greed, and it just, it was not worth it. And I liked that because it kind of just... I'm an asshole. Mainly, that's why I like it. I like that you can't just go and solo and bum rush it. Nightmare is still the best group boss. I enjoy Nightmare more than Nex, but that's just because Nightmare, you can control a lot more of what's happening in terms of how much damage you're going to take for no fucking reason. And Mass Nex is just full of assholes. I do like Mass Nightmare more. I do enjoy Nightmare as a boss. I don't think this boss is too tedious to do in, trios. And if that means you've got a... The problem a lot of people have is they want a solo content. The reason people solo tier way is not because solo tier way is better for purples. It's because you want a purple, because you're greedy. That's a fact, right? So to encourage duo or trio, to encourage trio or more groups in bosses like this, if you don't like that and you want to just do a lot of solo content, in my opinion, you should grow a pair. there are Discord communities and clans available in pretty much, pick a content creator on YouTube or Twitch. They've got they more than likely have an open Discord or community you can talk to, right? Get involved with. So you want me to turn my mic up a bit? I can. And mine included, !Discord when you're in my live streams, you can jump in. There is a PVM chat. There is an active clan chat you can guest in, which is full at the moment, but people will PVM and they'll likely do this boss with you. Learn to make friends. Learn to communicate with people. Don't lock yourself out of content. I just think that people should spend more time encouraging group content in general. So if Jagex wants to do this with a pretty easy boss, absolutely, I'm all for it. Just don't download any plugins people tell you to download that aren't strictly through RuneLite because you'll get fucking hacked. So there are bad eggs out there, unfortunately, bad actors. You can't do anything about that. You do have to be careful. But basic online security, if you get hacked, it's your own fault. Not any good content creator communities, to be honest. Well, it's a good thing you're here already, aren't you? That's my opinion. Like, you should just fucking grow a pair if you don't want to, or you shouldn't be expected to. That's fine. Don't do the fucking halloumi dragon then. Do something else. Like you are just you're choosing to do that. Don't be upset that that's the case, you know. Solo, like, it's completely possible to solo, but it's not fucking worth your time. And to be honest, this sort of boss is fine to group. As for the floor, the tail slam damage mechanic, yeah, it is a bit weird, but I think it's just a visual cue at the moment that's a bit weird. It's a little unorthodox. I think that whoever designed this boss hasn't actually played the game very much, because even if you look at some of the click boxes, which I've already complained about many times, some of the hitboxes are just fucking shocking. Like, are you not looking at what you're making in a developer program and actually paying attention to where people can and can't click to move out away from, like, the floor damage? I don't know. I feel like I don't get the sense that Jagex or whichever JMods are working on the drop table here, or the mechanics in general, or the design, were really playing the game. You know, it's a bit silly. I don't even care about GP. Most people don't care about GP, but it's a fucking insult to get Guam seeds at any point in this game in 2024 on new content. That's just a fact. Like, remove the fuck. I've spoken about it, and likely in another video that you can see, but, like, the seed drop table is just another kettle of fish Jagex needs to stop fucking putting on every single piece of content. There are enough Guam seeds in the fucking game. Like, I'd rather a nothing roll, but we'll continue. Sorry.
Which are also already good on the rest of the boss. It's roughly the third best option overall to just camp it.
Yep.
Why not make it earth spells? We have a boss in a raid that required us attack a magic and melee body part. Again, another missed opportunity to teach some higher concepts like switching gear. Don't even get me started on the click boxes. The body segments are just a big box that doesn't even remotely match the visuals. And good luck clicking on that tail that flops all over the place with a perfectly traced click box. This seems to be a common problem with Varlamore in general, specifically Coliseum.
I think it's a common problem with the game in general when they're making new content. Like, someone is just fucking... They're doing this. This is what they're doing. They're going, all right, so here's the cave that you have to click. And, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, yeah, update's ready, boys. And then you're like, you've got to dodge your camera angle. If it's not fucking dead square, you got to dodge. You're trying to run over, like, into this region here. But, like, this is the only fucking thing that matters. You're trying to click, and you're just red Xing, and you're getting fucked. Like, it's not fucking difficult. But it is on these, especially these 5, like, holes, it is really bad, man. It's really bad.
Huey also has some kind of kill streaking mechanic. We don't know how this works, or if it even provides any increase to loot or anything like that. Perfect kills also seem to be bugged and fail for seemingly no reason. This seems out of place for a mid-level boss aimed at teaching mid-level players how to PVM. Similar to the Force teams, why are we trying out perfect kill streaks at a Moons tier combat level boss? Assuming these do affect your loot, we just had this with Desert Treasure 2 where it really didn't work. Perfect kills would fail for things like getting hit by a random gas at Duke, which was changed to be not random for this reason, or very minor mistakes. Jagex is notorious for deciding something is a perfect kill that any good player would laugh at. Tanking 0 damage at Bloat and slowly going around the room killing him in 3 downs is considered perfect. What if I wanted to take damage to push the boss down faster? Now I've made a mistake? Maybe I wanted to tank that lightning at Huey because I would have lost a tick if I did.
I mean, speedrunning isn't perfect. So if you want to speedrun a room, you don't get the perfect... Like, not to dive into Tob too much, but you're trying to speedrun bloat. It's not a perfect kill because you're speedrunning it, right? Like, my opinion is that speedrunning isn't the highest level of the gameplay anyway. It doesn't make you good because you can speedrun, so take offense if you will. But that is literally the point, yes. A perfect kill means not making a mistake. And to speedrun, you have to intentionally make mistakes to take advantage of other mechanics. That doesn't make it perfect. It's literally that, like... So that logic is dumb as fuck. But... speedrunner mindset, I guess. Perfect incorporates not getting damage. Well, perfect incorporates doing the game, doing the room as mechanically intended. And if by intentionally abusing, well, when I say abusing, I don't mean in a malicious way. I just mean by manipulating, I guess, aggressive or NPC mechanics to damage you. Have you seen Tob Fire's world record? You have to be perfect. Yeah, tick perfect isn't the same as mechanically perfect. So when Jagex says do perfect Tob, okay, perfect Tob doesn't mean world record mechanics, right? So by doing perfect bloat means don't get damaged by bloat. But to do world record, you have to get damaged by bloat to get extra damage in and to make it not 3 down, right? You have to go in with your P next and be hit by bloat. So that's not perfect bloat because perfect bloat is where you don't take damage, which would make sense. Because that's how you perfectly do bloat. Because bloat, you're meant to not take damage in that room. That's the point. Does that make sense? So mechanically perfect and then perfect for speed running are 2 different things. There's no way speedrunners are intentionally hiding from bloat. They're does that make sense? Speedruns in all games normally include cheating. Yeah, I agree with achievement shit. Yeah, that's what Gnomonkey's saying. Gnomonkey's saying that Jagex's view on what's perfect isn't what speedrunners view perfect, which is the point because Jagex isn't trying to make you a speedrunner. You have certain speed achievements for Grandmaster, but speedrunning doesn't mean you're a good player. It just means that you're fast.
I guess that was a mistake. If you want to venge bomb a boss and manage your prayer, supplies, and HP, you're punished because that's not perfect. Hey, by the way, recoil has been completely disabled at Huey, just like every other boss they add. I don't know why they hate venge so much. What if you tank a hit to get a spec off and kill the boss faster? Nope, not perfect. Perfect mechanics don't work. What is worse is that the perfect mechanic is also based off your entire team that you are forced to
We didn't get a single perfect kill while grouping. It wasn't even worth trying for. Okay, yeah.
The encounter with instead of just yourself. It encourages toxic behavior and a negative tone for when someone messes something up. Reminds me of a certain combat achievement at a certain theater.
Complete theater of blood without anyone dying through any means, and while everyone in the team completes the following combat achievement tasks in a single run: perfect maiden, perfect bloat, perfect Nalo, perfect soap, perfect Zabas, perfect Zebek. Physic. Yeah, see, it's this is one of the hardest combat achievements to achieve in the game. And this is where it comes down to what do you prefer as a player, guys? Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Do you think it should be completely solo-based? Or do you think it should be team-based? Should you think that Jagex should encourage more teamwork? I know the whole, it's an MMO. Shut up, dickhead. Do you think that it should require you to rely on other people or not? Now, there's pros and cons, right? I'm a fan of solo-based because that means I don't need to worry about other dickheads. But I'm a fan of team-based because it makes me feel... I feel like it would be more fun. But I've got the resources. I'm in a fortunate situation where I could find 5 people like that and we could go and attempt this and, you know, practice, get good, and have fun doing it. A lot of the people have a hard time wanting to communicate, getting involved, and feel like that it gatekeeps them out of content, right? Like a lot of people, I'd imagine, don't feel like they'll ever get this task done. Or they feel like they need to pay someone to do it. And if you're going to pay someone to do it, got bad news for you. You suck. Never pay to get a combat achievement done, ever. I don't think you should ever do that. That is an L fucking move. So, I don't necessarily disagree with Gnomonkey on this point at all, because I get it. I get both sides. It's a catch-22. At the end of the day, it just depends what you prefer. And unfortunately, if you don't prefer this and you don't want to or can't do this, you are going to feel locked out of the content. If you can do this CA, you can find others who can do it. You can, but a lot of people, the problem with Theatre of Blood in general, which is a whole other fucking can of worms, is they have a terrible ego and feel like their time, like they're entitled to your money because of their time. It's a really weird community, unfortunately. Should not be penalised for making mistakes of other players. True, but the way Perfect Nilo works is it's a very team-focused room. Does that mean if someone majors and freezes the wrong Nilo, should everyone fail? I don't mind trying that, but it is fucking hard, you know? If you got 5 people, for example, that's 4 other people that can fuck up if you don't. Says in general have shifted direction, in my opinion. There's a huge difference between displaying you've got an experience in the piece of content and rerunning content not for completions but for CA tasks. Yeah, I agree. I think MMORPGs should have tasks that involve other players. It's time to socialize. It's got both, thankfully. I'm in 2 minds about it. Personally, I don't care because I will do either. But it is interesting to see how the community feels. It is a very hard task to do. And unfortunately, what this does do is it makes people feel like they need to pay people for a service, which one leads to real trade, creates a black market, creates terrible egos, ruins friendships, and just really sours the experience at Theatre of Blood, in my opinion. It's about loot here, though, so trash. Well, there's that, yes, too, yeah. The TOA group CAs were fun. I'm sure they were, and if you got mates you can do TOA, that's great. And I agree. I think that's excellent. Team Perfect Tob should be just be barraging right kinds of things, not for a completion log. Team Perfect Tob should just be a bragging rights thing. Oh. No one gives a fuck about that, to be honest, at the end of the day. It's like having an Inferno cape. No one actually gives a fuck if you got it or not. You still wipe the team and bloat because you're a dickhead. That's what you get for paying for your cape. Sorry, I read your comment wrong the first time. Endgame objective of Tob is get purples. If you can get purples, fantastic. That's all you need from Tob. If you've got time to rerun over and over for CS, that's totally different end goal. Well, it's a different direction. Some people want to go for CS, some don't. I'll eventually go for GM when I have the equipment. I just don't. I've only got a scythe. I don't have anything else at the moment to help me get the rest of the CAs, which is fucking annoying, but that's not the point of the video, so we won't worry about that. But it is an interesting point to bring up because I don't know what the perfect system is for this dragon at the moment. All I do know is that I think I would like for it to affect loot, but I think it's either going to only affect some sort of unique mechanic or it's purely just there preemptively for combat tasks. That's the only 2 I can think of. Go for GM on your main card. I don't have any gear on my main, dude. I can't be fucked playing the main, dude. It sucks. I'd rather do it on the Ironman. It's good fun.
It's just not coming to mind. I don't know. I can't remember. Now, that wasn't the only blunder in this update. We have the Herblore minigame, which I actually really looked forward to because of my group hardcore being ready to level up Herb, with lots of herbs banked from grinding Moon's bosses.
Level up. You hear that? He said he's going to level up Herblore. Good fucking luck. Not in this minigame. 10k XP now. Yeah, righto, mate. You'll be bank standing by the end of the day.
I didn't do this minigame for very long, for a good handful of reasons. It's very complicated in how many types of potions and stations there are, to the point I decided I would just wait for a plugin to come out before messing with it any further.
Yeah, so some people were telling me on the day 1 of release that it's like... The M is what does the M stand for? Something, but it's like Mammoth Might Mix, which is MMM. M is blue, A is green, and L is fire. So if it's like liquor, it's LLL, or MLL is Mega Light Liquid, so it's 1 blue, 2 reds. It doesn't matter what order it's in. So that can be used to help solve that, but the RuneLite plugin, like I said, is the play. Wait for the RuneLite plugin, you'll be fucking sweet.
I cannot imagine trying to do this as a mobile player, and I wouldn't want to do this without a plugin that helps guide you through it like Giant's Foundry plugin does. Highlights on which potion to make, which station to go to, and better indicators for the timing click speed up bonus would all make this a very different minigame. Relying on RuneLite plugins to add indicators is becoming less acceptable to me. Some arrow indicators and highlights should have been baked into the minigame by default. The Herb minigame helps irons who don't want to get secondaries get XP, which is great, but that XP is not amazing, and and the rewards take an eternity.
35k average. Holy shit. That's a lot. Most people can cap out 75k max efficiency. That's insane. Jesus. That's a lot more than I was expecting. However, yes, that's why Jagex is working on this API plugin client so that plugins can come with the updates or not long after rather than actually waiting for RuneLite to update them. It should be a lot better with the new HD and API plugin client. We'll just need Jagex to pull the fucking finger out. Someone mentioned got 70k XP an hour. That's insane. How hard do you need to work for 70k XP though? Because let's be honest, 70k XP an hour is not a lot. Especially for Herblore, that is not a lot of XP. So if you could chill and do it, that's sweet. But if you're like really fucking hyper focusing, I don't know if players are going to want to do that over bank standing. Like, because Sarabrews are like 200k XP an hour nearly, aren't they? Once you get down, it's not that bad. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Absolutely. I think the bigger problem, in my mind, was the price of the rewards in the shop. Huge problem with the herds going to the corner too. There's no indicator except for a chat message that dies fast as fuck. I don't even know what that does. You get 3x more XP per herb. That's true. But you also get 0.3 as much XP per hour. Sarah's almost 400k. Are they? I thought they're like 180. Shit, okay. I don't mind the low XP since you don't have to gather secondaries for potions you'll never use. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, look, if people enjoy it, then that's great. I heard that the XP rates were worse than this. Her can be added into your potions with big XP rates. Oh, wow, okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting. The store prices 100% will be dropped. I just banked my points. Fair enough. Yeah, bank them for now just in case. See what happens next Wednesday. What's up, Adrian? How you doing?
Need to grind. The rewards were so poorly scaled
Yeah.
that the first pre-pot device wasn't even in the game yet when I logged off after an 8.5 hour stream that started an hour after the update. That's how long of a grind it was.
Yeah,
With
and the pre-pot device isn't even that important. It's just people coping. It's crazy, hey?
max efficiency, it was an ETA of about 10 to 15 hours to get your hands on it. The outfit is even more of a grind per piece. By the time you get the outfit, you won't even be leveling herb anymore. That's how poorly scaled the tokens for the reward is. At least at skilling minigames like Giant's Foundry, you sacrifice your items and get good XP and decent rewards. The new herb minigame locks the secondary components of the Prayer Renewal Aggression Potion, the pre-pot device, and potion storage behind countless hours of grinding, a really poorly designed minigame geared towards mid-level players. You're probably better off just getting secondaries on your Ironman and getting 50% more XP an hour than even bothering with this. I didn't get a chance to mess with the new Ice Boss. I heard from other people it was better than Huey. And
yeah, the Ice Boss has a better drop table than the Dragon, and drops high-level clue scrolls that I found out today, which is nuts. And also backwards as fuck.
Herb minigame? But that's not saying much. From a cursory read of the mechanics, it seems like a lower-level Cerberus equivalent. I wasn't going to go do a quest to be even more disappointed in the update than I already was. Overall, this update feels very rushed and not well tested and thought out. It feels like they had a slot in the Summer Summit for content and didn't know what to do, so they slapped this in there. Feels like a real waste of dev time, and not because it wasn't geared towards me. I voted yes to Huey and the herb minigame to come into OSRS, but as I see update after update come out, I feel I really should not be voting yes nearly as often. I hope in the future Jagex considers using lower level encounters to push people towards more interesting and engaging content. Scurious was great, Huey was not. And that's it for the video. Leave a like if you liked it, and or subscribe.
Not a bad take. I personally don't find the update that bad, but you had to go into, like, people, I think the Huey boss needs a fucking, that drop table. Like, there's no way you're getting Guam seeds from this. Level 642. The seed drop table needs to fuck off. There's no way you're getting Guam seeds. And I feel like the quantity should be increased because getting like 2 Sunkiss bones in a group of 20 is dumb as fuck. But I think the rest of the update, I don't think it was inherently bad, but I do feel like it feels weird that they pushed the update back, right? Because it was meant to come out before Araxor, remember? But it came out after Araxor and announced in the Summer Summit, which makes me wonder, why did they push it back? Like, what were the problems that they were having? Yeah, it's a little bit silly, but I don't think it's overall a bad update. I just don't think it brings as much to the table as they were hyping it up to be. Like, the size of this boss here wasn't, like, it was a lot smaller than we thought it was going to be. It could definitely be like more health, faster attack speed, things like that. The Herbler minigame is, we'll see next week when they make changes how it comes out. I've heard the agility is good. I've heard it's great, and it's the second fastest outfit to get now, which is cool. I haven't done 2 of the quests still. It just, yeah, it does feel like it wasn't as big as it was led up to be, unfortunately. But I don't think it was bad overall. I don't think it was negative towards the game. I just feel like it was not as good as we thought it was going to be. He wants every boss in early game to be a smaller end raids one. If they did that, end game would be the same as early boss, but hard. Sounds very repetitive. Well, yes, but if you had some sort of boss that's, I guess, loosely mimicked Olm, would you be more confident going into Chambers as Zarek and learning that? You might do. Or if they had another boss that mimicked Tecton a little bit, maybe you'd be less of a fucking asshole and annoying cunt to raid with when going into Tecton with people like me who know how to do Tecton, and then it's like, this guy's not quick enough, now Tecton's fucking me. You know, it's not a bad idea to do that. But I don't mind them trying new things at the same time. I don't dislike this boss. I think it's just people would feel better about this boss if they didn't feel like they were getting nothing out of it. That's just how the game is. But Jagex also doesn't want to do another Warcraft because for some reason they struggle to find the balance between good and bad drop tables. It's okay to have medium drop tables. Get rid of the fucking C drop table. You will fix most of your content. It's never a bad thing to teach mechanics early. Yeah, I think so. You don't have to replicate it completely, but just loosely teaching people to move and have to change combat style for different phases of a boss is fine. Definitely like the idea of them teaching for raid scares. Was a great addition for helping new players PvP. And I'm sure the Moon bosses did too, but that was all melee as well, right? Seed and herd drops, mad annoying. Yeah, they are really annoying. But overall, the Gnomonkey video is not bad. People were saying it was a lot worse and him complaining more than it should have been. But I think what he's saying is, for the most part, like 70% of it was a fair justification. Like he justified what he was saying and why he was saying it and why he felt that way. He wasn't just like, yeah, this dragon shit. Anyways, the Herblore game, like he at least discussed his progression, his frustrations and explained what he wants. And I think that's better than what most people say. Some people just say L take and then not explain why. Should drop feathers that give arrows a buff or something. Yeah, like a new sort of feather and completely ruin every other arrow that's been made so far. That'd be good. Unless you can replace them, I guess. But not this string bean looking motherfucker. But it's fine. The video is not bad. Yeah, overall, fair opinion. I don't mind the lottery boss. Like the only thing worth getting is the unique just balance of other Warcraft-like bosses. Yeah, no, lottery boss is fine, but also, like, why drop lobsters? Drop monkfish. At least that will be used and picked up. People just despawn fucking lobsters. So, at least I'll cook monkfish and fucking eat it on, like, a shit slayer task. At the very least. Oh, Gabriel, give us another corp? No. That's a bad idea. Don't give us corp. Anyways, not a bad video. This is the easiest move in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. You got a big boy.